In a world steeped in tradition and history, where the stories of rulers echo through the ages, a different narrative takes form, a tale of masquerade, creativity, and unforeseen impact. This is the story of the monarch who never was. The Enlightenment, a time of enlightenment, a symphony of creativity and intellect. In the 18th century, Europe teetered between the rigidity of traditional monarchy and the revolutionary ideals of democracy. Beneath opulent facades, artists and thinkers began shifting the very bedrock of society. Among them, the luminaries of art and philosophy were shaping the zeitgeist. Yet behind the glamour and glory, many felt confined by their roles. They sought not to be subjects of kings but to take the reins of their own destinies as monarchs of a new world. But who formed this coalition, this web of creativity that encouraged revolution? Ranging from playwrights and poets to musicians and philosophers, they represented diverse backgrounds and agendas. Allow me to introduce you to figures such as the elusive Enrique de Luca, an avant-garde poet whose verses hinted at rebellion cloaked in beauty. Or Edgar Fournier, the enigmatic composer whose symphonies were said to inspire riots in the streets of Paris. These artists moved through a society dominated by widespread unrest. For every glittering royal banquet, there existed a populous yearning for change, dissatisfaction brewing like a storm over the horizon. In the shadows of palatial walls, subversive ideas blossomed. The coalition began to solidify their intent, utilizing literature and art to plant the seeds of revolution, a cultural subversion masked as entertainment. They envisioned a playground where royalty and art united. They camouflaged their identities beneath grandiose masks, literally and metaphorically, enacting tales filled with themes of love, betrayal, and the haunting complexities of power. 1946 saw the premiere of The Farcical Royal, a play intended to poke fun at the excesses of monarchy while inviting audiences to question their own realities. Thus, a movement was born, blending theatrics with political inquiry. Each member brought their story. Enrica recounting tales of her impoverished upbringing in Naples. Edgar, a bohemian child raised among revolutionaries in a crumbling Parisian suburb. Critics were divided. Some hailed the performance as genius satire, others condemned it as treasonous blasphemy. But the coalition recognized the spark once ignited, it became uncontrollable. Meanwhile, real monarchs recoiled. They sensed a threat in this rising tide of culture-driven dissent. While the coalition painted their own royal narrative, the true royalty faced upheaval from the very fabric they had woven for centuries. The revolution loomed larger. With each performance, street demonstrations followed, driven not by the sword but by the pen, the melody of unrest swelling into the symphony of political resistance. Yet, the success of this coalition brought its own set of complications. The very friendships that fueled bold performances began to fray under the weight of dissent. As the movement gained traction, so too did animosities flourish, revealing rivalry among the protagonists. The crescendo of discontent manifested when, during a performance, a serendipitous twist led the audience to confront their realistic, visceral response that would shake the very foundations of this coalitional movement. While they sought change through art, the backlash was unprecedented, a storm they had underestimated. The momentum of revolution was unleashed, and the very masterminds of the subculture found themselves caught amidst their creation. But in the eye of this storm, the coalition found themselves frayed and fractured. Friendships dissolved, and a sense of identity was lost in the chaos. Could the monarch they conceived survive its own making? Despite their falling apart, the coalition's ideology became woven into the very fabric of European revolution. Their underground whispers became cries for liberty, casting shadows for future generations of artists and activists. Today, these shadow monarchs exist in the periphery of our historical memory, their roles unrecognized yet deeply impactful in the evolution of our collective consciousness about governance, identity, and cultural expression. Behind every mask lies a story unbound, a truth subtle yet significant. As we stand atop the precipice of today's politics, we must wonder what turbulent threads of creativity will shape our future, even as we seek out those monarchs of revolution still hidden amongst us. The monarch who never was, a journey through the hidden hand of history.